Trucking, got my chips cashed in. Keep trucking, like the Doodah Man. Together, more or less in line. Just keep trucking on. Arrows of neon and flashing marquees out on Main Street.
Get out of my way. I gotta get to Muncie. Well, when we go to Ball State, especially when we're stopping low, we take what I call the back roads.
Oh, the B one, okay.
This is, you'll be on a piece of interstate here for the next 6-7 miles, and after that you won't see the interstate until after dinner. And I'd love to point out to you when we actually physically cross into Indiana, but there's no sign on the road that we're on. At least we've never been able to find it. That, or either that, we're going so fast that I guess it can happen.
Okay, so I text Coach Novak. I said, on our way to Muncie, do you miss this trip? He says, no. One of my least favorite. I think we are getting game on TV. We get 2 channels. ESPN has NIU, BSU listed. Hope so. Have a good game.
So, Bill, what do you usually order?
There?
Yeah.
Oh, what is it, Mark? The enchilada, you say?
Seafood enchilada.
Seafood enchilada. Absolutely.
I could order for him. He'll get a sangria, a house salad, chips with hot sauce, and seafood enchilada.
Extra hot sauce. I mean, it's got to be spicy.
I got to know, Bill, what's your most memorable trip to Ball State?
The Ball State? In football or everything?
Oh, I'd say for football.
If it's basketball, we got snowed. It snowed in there one time. The game was actually delayed one day.
Well, I mean, there's when Garrett Wolf went down there and, I mean, literally stretched it right out of the park. He just ran wild that day. Northern won big.
For Northern Illinois.
Wolf, the single sent back. They don't believe in a fullback in DeKalb, Illinois. Garrett Wolf gets it again. Makes a move. Made a defender look silly there. Gets around another. Here goes Garrett Wolf once again. His 3rd rushing touchdown in this football game.
Most of the time I try to forget my trips to Ball State. That would have to be it. I mean, until recently, we've not had a lot of success down there. It's been a tough place to play. You go back to the early days doing this stuff in the 80s and 90s. First got back in the MAC in the 97 season. Something always went wrong at Ball State. But as of late, we've had some more success.
So are you the senior now then?
I mean, you asking me, am I the oldest?
I guess that's a nice way to put it.
Yeah, I'm like you said. You're the oldest in this vehicle. And I'm probably amongst the guys in the MAC, yeah. Yeah.
Big West Media Days. Las Vegas was a much better destination.
We went out there for 3 years and did preseason shows. And one was at the Sands. One was at
Treasure Island.
Treasure Island, and the other one was at Bally's, right?
Yeah.
No, MGM, I think it was at the time. It was the MGM before it became Bally's, or was it the new MGM? I think it might have been the new MGM.
All work and no play.
Oh, we get out there, you know, day and a half before the show, and what? We never left the room. I mean, we were in there studying media guides and facts and figures.
What a waste of a trip.
What, you don't believe that?
Okay, but it's south.
Yeah.
Hey, that's not good. I don't like that.
See, they know we're coming down this road. They hold the trains. Now, what's this up here?
Century 21.
That's a for sale sign.
Yeah.
So we must be in Indiana. Okay, here we go.
This is it.
We were in Scheerer.
This is their new place. relatively speaking.
Yeah, it used to be on the other side of town. I see Tommy Rosilio is here. Looks like we beat the crowd, guys.
Yeah, it's only 4:30. Yeah, that wiper every once in a while might be nice. There you go.
Only because of their feed trucks up here. Other than that, I don't know.
Always nice to see.
Right.
What a novel idea.
Oh, there's the road.
What a novel idea.
Just don't need them.
Yeah, but you see him turn him on to super speed when he was in the Sunset Club. he wanted the windshield clean then.
See, what I hate is this squealing.
Sometimes the light's all shining on me.
Out east, there's something called a tasty cake.
Okay.
And Carrie loves tasty cakes. Okay? So she said, you got to get me a tasty cake out east. So Garzarelli was working, and Casey, and me, and Bill, and maybe Robert Collins. So I said, so at Lincoln Financial's where Temple played, right?
Yep.
Lincoln Financial, they had like a big old kitchen with, you know, like service lines or whatever, and they had ice cream and tasty cakes sitting out like by the dozens and dozens. So I said, I got to grab a couple tasty cakes for my wife. Well, Casey did, Bill did,
Absolutely.
Robert Collins did, Todd Garzarelli did, and I had like a bag full of tasty
You
cakes.
had over 30. You were close to 3 dozen tasty cakes.
But I did not pilfer them all. I was only taking 1 or 2 for my wife for later on.
You got everything out of here?
Yeah. I have no idea what floor we're on. I'm going to guess 4th.
Oh, here, I can tell you. Yeah, this floor. Can you read, Bill?
Yeah, it says fire operation. If you are reading this, the press box is on fire. Please do not use the elevator.
Yeah, I remember.
So we were down at this end before. Yes, we're off.
Are we on the wrong level?
You know, here's the deal. Northern was a situation wherein I'd been doing the IHSA a long time down at Champaign-Urbana, and in March of 1980, one of the real pioneers in broadcasting in Northern Illinois, his name was Jim Feather. He owned and operated WRHL in Rochelle, about 15 miles west of DeKalb. And we were sitting there for some reason, maybe it was in between games, I don't remember that part, but he said, you know, Northern Illinois is looking to put together a network, and you should apply for it. And it seemed intriguing at the time, and as soon as we got back, I called a guy by the name of Jerry Apollotti and asked him about it, and Jerry said, sure, come in for an interview, which I did, I don't know, maybe the first part of April. And it was probably somewhere in mid-May. He says, okay, you got the job. And he says, one of the prerequisites on this job is we're looking for somebody that's not necessarily looking to be here a couple of years and move on. We want somebody, and he kind of looked up at the sky and said, maybe to be here for the next 20 years. And I said, you know what, I think I could do that. And you know, now it's been 33. So go figure.
Dave Niehaus retired from Seattle Mariners, Hall of Fame broadcaster. His famed call was "My oh my," and he always said he never really cared for that call. It wasn't his favorite, but it's what fans remembered him for. Last year after the Toledo game, you say goodbye Toledo. If that's your legacy, what do you think?
I hate to think that Toledo would have anything to do with my legacy, to be honest with you. But yeah, people remember that. But the truth of the matter is I've been using that line for years and just simply applying it to wherever we happen to be. And sometimes, even if we're at home, I mean, case in point, the Kansas game, at the end is goodbye Kansas, even though we were actually in DeKalb. Well, Kansas was leaving, and we'd beaten them. So, but I'd been using that for years. What really got the goodbye Toledo thing going, I think, was the kind of game it was. the back and forth, the high scoring nature, the fact it went down to the final 19 seconds when we scored, and then really they were you know, across the 50. And I think when Page finally got pushed out of bounds, he was probably down around the 32, 33 yard line, if I'm not mistaken, in Northern Territory as time expired. So, I mean, just given the type of game it was, and you know the circumstances surrounding it, that call I think was probably will probably be remembered.
Danton sets up, he's going to throw short, pass is caught by Rainey, there's the lateral back to Eric Page, Husky 30, Page on his feet, taken out of bounds, goodbye Toledo, goodbye Toledo, they're done, Huskies win it, 63-60.
We are going to do our pregame with Coach Doran. Most of the places in the MAC, I know exactly where I'm going, but after every couple of years I got to refamiliarize myself because we can't do this in the locker room. And some places have press areas. Some places, I actually once interviewed Coach Pettibone in the Husky equipment truck. So, you know, it just depends on what area we can find to get Coach out of the way. But I make a kind of a visual with him, and he makes a visual with me. He always comes back out and is you know, very approachable, no doubt. Good morning, everybody. You talk about your team right now. You started with a 9-game winning streak. You lost one. You're on a 4-game streak right now. How locked in and how focused is your team?
They're very focused. You know, they know what this game's about. It's a trophy game. So, you know, it's a very, very meaningful opportunity to keep something at home with us for a year. Something that we hold very dear because it's a seminal victory. We'd like to keep it, put it back on that bus and drive it back with us.
You know, I mean, we've done a pregame, I mean, all the way back with Coach Pettibone, and my first game was with Coach Pettibone in 1985, and you know, I interviewed him right after his win. That was so that was pretty neat for me. A 17-0 win was my first game in '85, but all the coaches have been incredibly accommodating, and you know, Coach Pettibone was incredibly accommodating. Coach Sadler went through some tough times, so he wasn't quite as verbal, to be honest with you. And Coach Novak, after 12 years, I mean, we didn't become, you know, just media. We became pretty good friends and still are. And I think we had a bond because you know, Coach knows that I was in coaching all those years, and so we actually talked some coaching philosophy, and I learned a lot from him. And Coach Kill was the same way. Was incredibly accommodating, and Coach Kill and Coach Doran have been very much the same. And like their first year, there wasn't that knowledge of me and the trust of me and us as a radio team, but now that's there, and they're able to, you know, have the comfort level to give us some insights on some things that we could use in a broadcast out of a trust standpoint.
Anyway, my toss to Mark case is going to be the fact that, or is it Keith winning, blah, blah, blah. Their starting quarterback will operate behind a strong senior-laden offensive line. I think Mark is going to come with, you know, and that's the exact formula that Chandler Harnish used, you know, with all of his success.
All right, I'm going to do, if you don't mind, I'm going to say a lot of cornfields between Northern DeKalb and Muncie on my drive down today, and they're playing for the Bronze Stalk, I guess.
Yeah, that'll work.
How's that? All right, and then for your information, so you know, during the game, I talked to Jordan Lynch, I talked to Durant. I got some good stuff with Durant, and I got some good stuff with Santa Catarina.
Yeah, all right.
So those are the guys. And the thing with Jordan Lynch that, if you want to talk about at some point, he told me that he actually throws better. Somebody asked me why they roll him left and then have him throw across his body, and he said he's more comfortable throwing across his body rolling left than he is rolling right.
Yeah, you know, some people are.
Which is unusual, but.
Everybody, from Scheerer Stadium in Muncie, Indiana, it's time for Northern Illinois football. I'm Bill Baker, glad to have you with us on the sun-splashed afternoon as we step right back into the American Conference play, this time away from Husky Stadium. My right, as always, is Mark Lindo in a must-win situation for the Cardinals. That's with a question mark. It's 1-1 now for Ball State in league play, Mr. Lindo. Second loss, the likes of Toledo, Western Michigan, and Ohio still to come. That could be devastating. Talk about that returning talent. You've got to start with your quarterback and keep winning. You'll operate behind a very strong, senior-laden offensive line.
Absolutely. Good afternoon, Bill. This Cardinal offensive line has a combined 134 starts. So Keith winning and Jarrett's protection from the big boys up front, almost like Chandler Harnish did last year. For both teams, it always starts in the trenches with the Hogs up front.
Yeah, without question.
Seven, the Muncie Nissan Red Zone.
Tommy Lee.
Here at the halftime. Let's go back and play Husky football. I don't know what's wrong. We're going to find out right now and get it right.
Thanks, Coach. Hey, Coach Dave Dorn.
I do a wide variety of things on the field. Bill likes to have the sideline reporter spot for him, so I'm relaying personnel changes to those guys up in the booth. I'll call out, maybe nickel or dime package if I see that go on the field. All kinds of things. I'm looking for injuries. Obviously, I'm reporting, what's going on the sideline. And then as it unfolds, each week I go down to practice one night a week, either Tuesday or Wednesday, interview players and coaches, and then as it's appropriate, weave in stories from those interviews, that information that I glean relative to the game, whether it be keys, things we want to do offensively, things we're looking to do defensively, human interest stories relative to players and coaches. So looking for those opportunities where it makes sense to weave in a story.
For sure.
Putting on some pressure.
They elect to keep this one on the ground. Dive off the left side. Loose football, I think, this time. Juwan Edwards with a dive, and he lost the ball. He did lose the ball. It came out. Huskies recover. Out to the right side, and Jordan Lynch is going to run it. Lynch has got the first down. He's untouched. He is to the 10. He is to the 5, and he's into the end zone. And a touchdown, Northern Illinois.
6th in his career.
Waiting once more, and he's just a junior. Now stands in the pocket. Pass is tipped up in the air and then finally intercepted. Santa Catarina came up. They chew up some clock. Lynch, play action fakes, going to throw near sideline. Passes caught. Daniels, 30, 25, 20, 10, 5, touchdown. He's got the touchdown. Backfield is pretty much empty. Lynch is going to call his own number. And Lynch, 30, 35, he's got the first down, 40. Lynch, 50. Lynch behind the secondary. 30's on his way. 20, 15, 10. They're not going to catch him. Touchdown, Huskies.
You're sick of hanging around and you like to travel. Get tired of traveling, you want to settle down. I guess I can't revoke us all.
35-23. Huskies are 5-1, 2-0 in the Mid-American West. There go the city limits. Window is down. Goodbye, Muncie! That felt good.
Scared the hell out of that guy.
What a long, strange trip it's been. Trucking, I'm going home. Whoa, whoa, baby, back where I belong. Back home, sit down and patch my bones and get back trucking. Come on, come on.
And then I thought, well, maybe he wants another baby blue one. And I thought, well, now.
Yeah, well, this is.
We'll get a different color.
This is lime green or.
Yeah, I know.
Urine yellow.
It's not everybody that has that color.
Thank you, Sidney. Now, I'll turn that thing off.